football fan, I'm guessing that you might not care too much for the offseason. It is long as heck in the NFL, and it's even longer in college football. As of the time of this recording, the 2025 NFL Draft just wrapped up. Depending on when you watch this video, Shedeur Sanders could either be playing lights out, or he could be a complete bust. But that's not all though. I wasn't expecting it this early, but we actually got some uniform news. Recently, the NFL just announced that they're coming out with these rivalry jerseys. It looks like this is going to be a multi-year process, and from 2025 to 2028, every season will introduce two new divisions that'll feature the new uniforms. One for the AFC and one for the NFC. For the purposes of this video, we're going to look at the 2025 uniforms, which will be comprised of the AFC East and the NFC West. At the time of this recording, there's been no leaks, but we're going to go through some of my predictions on what we could see for these new uniforms. Before we start though, what innovations would you like to see for your favorite team? Let me know down in the comments below. Alright, let's jump right into it. We're starting off with the AFC East, and up first is the Buffalo Bills. As far as color goes, I think a Niagara Falls blue would look really cool. Maybe something gradient to almost mimic a waterfall. And maybe something subtle like an electric circuit panel on the sleeves or the collar to mimic the hydroelectric technology. The numbers could be done in a similar fashion. Either have yellow or white numbers, or maybe a mixture of both, and give it a thick border to separate the numbers from the main body of the jersey. As far as the helmet goes, I think I'd be okay with the standard white helmet with some additional changes. Maybe not mess with it too much, but maybe had some yellow circuits sprinkled throughout the helmet. And as far as the pants goes, it could either be white colored pants, or the gradient from the jersey could go into the pants and almost kind of blend in as one cohesive unit. So I guess in that case, the pants would be like a mixture of blue and white gradient. Then again though, there doesn't really have to be any yellow anywhere in the jersey, and just making it more of that Niagara Falls blue itself would be pretty cool to see. But I guess we'll wait to see what happens. Next up, we've got the Miami Dolphins. I guess coral reef preservation is pretty big down there, so one thing that they could do is bring back the orange jerseys, but make it more of a coral reef shade of orange. I think the Dolphins have some beautiful uniforms, so for the sleeves, they could either keep the Dolphin logo or add the old school stripes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, so we don't need to go too fancy. I think the classic white helmet looks great as it is, but they could sprinkle some local elements into it. As far as the pants go, I would say to just tweak the colors a little bit to make it more of that coral reef orange and incorporating it with the white throughout the rest of the pants. Some changes here and there, but overall not too crazy. For the New England Patriots, I don't think we need to go too crazy with the color scheme. That navy blue, red, and silver already look great as is. That being said though, the Columbus Blue Jackets recently came out with their Stadium Series jersey, and front and center is this huge cannon logo. Since the Blue Jackets and Patriots already have a very similar color scheme, I think it'd be really cool to have some sort of artillery weapon on the Pats uniforms. I don't know if they could get away with this in the NFL, but it would be kind of cool to have the Patriots feature the cannon logo front and center and just have small numbers up at the shoulders instead of the way they do it now. League rules might restrict that, but I think it'd be cool. If you go with the cannon for the chest, then maybe have the old school Patriots logo for the helmet. I don't think there's a need to mess with the pants too much. The color scheme fits great already, and it blends in with the rest of the uniform. And last in the AFC East, we've got the New York Jets. I think this particular uniform already looks great as it is. It's been used throughout much of the Jets' history, and even when they try to reinvent the wheel, they always come back to this uniform. That being said though, maybe something that features the New York skyline somewhere on the jersey would be cool. Something like having an outline on the back of the collar, or having a subtle outline of the skyline on the helmet. Again, I kind of like this uniform the way it is, so I don't want to see too many changes. Quick announcement before we talk about the NFC. We're working hard to create quality content for all the major sports leagues and really aspire to be the de facto resource for all things related to sports jerseys. Consider supporting our channel by running the triple option, subscribing, liking, and commenting on today's video. And if you guys want to see some other cool videos, definitely check out one of these. All right, back to the show. All right, next up, let's talk about the NFC West. Let's start with the Arizona Cardinals. So the Cardinals have recently gone through a big uniform change, and I don't think there's a need to reinvent the wheel. But I think incorporating a desert theme into the uniform would be really cool. One thing they could do is to add a small, subtle outline to the sleeves of the uniforms, maybe in the shape of a cactus or other desert-themed items. Kind of like what the University of Colorado did with their uniforms. And I think something like that for Arizona would be subtle, but really, really cool. They've got a pretty simple helmet as it is, so maybe having some grains of sand incorporated into the helmet would kind of give it a little flair. And the same goes for the pants. For the Los Angeles Rams, I think going back to their old classic royal blue uniforms would be a nice touch. It's one of my favorite throwback designs, and that uniform is pretty well received in general. I think it'd be cool to add in some touches of the film industry, or maybe have the Hollywood sign somewhere on the uniform. It could be done in the same shade as the uniform itself and just kind of blend into the background. One quick note though, it would be cool to use their new bone color jersey instead of the traditional white jersey for the away uniform. Again, for the Rams, that throwback uniform is so iconic, I wouldn't mess with it too much if they're going to go with that. Now, the San Francisco 49ers got their name from the California Gold Rush in the 1800s, so I think the obvious choice is to go with a gold-colored uniform. Luckily, we've got some options there. A couple years ago, as part of the Color Rush series, the 49ers actually had a prototype gold jersey that unfortunately they never got to use. Bringing that gold jersey in and give it the traditional 49ers gold helmet would look absolutely stunning. You can either pair that with white pants or give the uniform gold pants to make it a monochrome look. I wouldn't mess with the design too much, and since they've already got a gold prototype, might as well use it, right? And last but certainly not least, we've got the Seattle Seahawks. I personally love their 90s throwback jerseys. There's a whole separate video on that jersey specifically, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't done so already. Instead of the darker shades of blue that we have now, I would say to keep that combination of royal blue and apple green for the rivalry jersey. I like that jersey so much, I don't want to change any details on it. So this is what I would do. Keep the jersey exactly as is, but make it more monochrome. Instead of having a silver helmet with the classic Seahawks logo, make it that same royal blue color. Same goes for the pants. Now, I think the silver pants they have now would also look good with that style, but I would definitely not do apple green pants. Blue helmet, blue jersey, and apple green pants would honestly look pretty ugly in my opinion. And there we go, guys. Those are just some ideas I had in mind for the 2025 rivalry jerseys. Maybe some of these will turn out to be accurate, or I could just be talking up my butt. Either way though, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and turn on notifications for all the latest updates. Alright, we'll see you in the next one.